It's Amy, your Gray Girlfriend, and welcome to the Gray Girlfriend's Guide to Life podcast. First, let me say that I'm so happy and grateful that you're here with me. Out of the more than 3 million podcasts available, you chose this one, so thank you. This podcast was created for high-achieving women, real women who face and conquer real challenges, real women who are ready to take their lives to the next level. Between us all, we've been through it all, and I'm here to tell you, you can thrive despite it. So whether you're commuting to or from work or doing one of the other 50,000 things you do on a weekly basis, pop in your earbuds, my friend, and let's go. Welcome to the Gray Girlfriend's Guide to Life podcast. This is your host, Amy Blair Lawson. Today's episode is entitled, You Are Not All That, When Your Inner Voice Won't Let Up. From the outside, you look like the woman who has it all together. You care about excellence. You hold high standards. You want to do things well, and you do. But on the inside, there may be another story running, a story that is quiet but powerful. No matter what you accomplish, there is a relentless inner voice that is there to prove what you missed, or what you should have done better, or why it still isn't quite enough. For many high-achieving women, self-criticism is not just a bad habit. It's one of the clearest places unworthiness hides. So when does self-criticism look like quote-unquote high standards? Self-criticism masquerades as high standards when you tell yourself, I'm just being honest with myself, or I don't want to get complacent, or if I don't push myself, who will? There's truth in wanting to grow, but there's a difference between a discerning inner guide and an inner voice that never lets you rest. Research on women's self-worth shows that when value is tied to external standards, such as approval or achievement or appearance or others' opinions, every perceived shortfall becomes a threat to one's whole sense of self. When that happens, self-criticism becomes a kind of self-policing. You may believe that if you attack yourself first, maybe no one else will. Or if you catch every flaw, maybe you'll stay safe. Or if you're hard on yourself, maybe you'll stay worthy. When this happens, self-criticism stops being feedback and starts being punishment. And that punishment is perpetuated by an underlining shame loop. You see, shame and self-criticism often move in a predictable loop. First, something goes wrong or it goes less than perfectly. Then your inner voice concludes that you're failing or that you're not enough. Next, self-criticism intensifies. The harsh comments start. You replay the moment over and over in your head, picking apart every detail. Then you overcorrect through perfectionism or people-pleasing or overworking. Then eventually, you feel exhausted or numb or shut down. From the outside, people may only see the productive part of this loop, the over-delivering or the over-functioning or the polished results. But inside, the cost is steep. Anxiety and rumination, and a deep sense of never quite measuring up. Self-criticism becomes the soundtrack of the worthiness wound. You tell yourself you should be further by now, or everyone can see you're not enough, or you don't deserve what you're asking for. It feels like honesty, but it is actually conditioning. So where does the inner voice actually come from? The inner critic is rarely born from nowhere. Therapists and coaches working with high-achieving women often describe it as a quote-unquote protective part. It's a voice that developed to keep you from being shamed or punished or abandoned by others by attacking you first. It may carry the tone of a critical parent or teacher, or an authority figure who demanded perfection, or a culture that told you your value depended on being pleasing and attractive and agreeable and high-achieving. Over time, that external pressure became an internal narrator. The tragedy is that it wears your voice. It sounds like you, so you trust it, even when it's tearing you apart. One powerful reframe, though, is this. If your inner voice bullies you or shames you or constantly tells you that you're not enough, that is not truth, my friend. That is a script. When you see the inner critic as conditioning rather than identity, something loosens. You are no longer inside the voice. You are the one hearing it. So how do you flip the I'm not enough script? That's where RTT comes in. Rapid transformational therapy, also known as RTT, works where self-criticism actually lives in the beliefs and emotional imprints formed around worth and safety and belonging. In RTT, you're not simply trying to make your inner voice quote unquote nicer. You're tracing where you first learned that mistakes were dangerous, and when you started believing that being hard on yourself was the only way to stay acceptable. And which moments linked love or approval to being flawless or productive or endlessly accommodating. Through regression and belief change work, RTT gently helps you separate your inner self from the inherited critic. It helps you install more accurate beliefs such as, I can grow without tearing myself down, and my worth is not dependent on perfection. It also helps you build a nervous system sense of safety that doesn't require self-attack to stay in control. You are not losing your edge. You are losing the punishment that keeps you afraid of your own humanity. So what can you expect to change when you stop equating self-attack with growth? As a self-critical voice softens, women often notice subtle yet powerful shifts. They notice a mistake without collapsing into shame. Feedback becomes information, not confirmation that you're a failure. Rest and pleasure feel less quote-unquote undeserved. Their standards remain high, but they're held with compassion, not contempt. They begin to treat themselves more like they would a dear friend. From there, worthiness becomes less conditional. It is no longer earned through self-attack and overcorrection. It becomes something steady, something they inhabit even while learning and healing and changing. If you recognize yourself here, you don't have to force instant self-love or silence the critic overnight. You might simply begin with noticing when your inner critic is speaking. When you notice it, ask yourself, what is this voice afraid would happen if it stopped attacking me? Then ask yourself, how would I speak to a friend in my situation? And what happens if I offer myself the same? Awareness is not a small thing. It is the first step in loosening a voice that has been running the show for a long time. From there, you can choose deeper work like RTT, work that honors why the critic exists while returning you to a way of relating to yourself that is far more humane and compassionate and far more truthful. And with that, allow me to say this. May you remember that you are not the critical voice in your head. May you feel strong enough to question the old scripts and gentle enough to offer yourself a new one. And may you come to trust a version of your inner voice that champions you instead of tearing you down. I'm wishing you peace and plenty of all good things. Until next time, this is Amy, your gray girlfriend. Hey, it's Amy. Did you know that what we tell ourselves about ourselves impacts every decision we make? Every decision. So if you're feeling stuck in any aspect of your life, RTT can help. Want to know more? Go to amyblairlawson.com or click on the calendar link in the show notes to schedule your complimentary 30-minute consultation. Oh, one last thing. I can't forget the legal stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The language a lawyers write that I have to read to you. Well, here it goes. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. While I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a certified divorce financial analyst, and a licensed investment advisor, this podcast is not intended as a substitute for a private session or a consultation. Got it? All right. Until next time, wishing you peace and plenty of all good things.